There's a product that, well, it's not out yet. It was sort of teased and unveiled on, I guess, on Twitter and various other socials.
Can we preface this by saying there's a lot of people who get mad when we're negative about things. I don't think there's going to be a ton of positivity going forward.
I'm going to give it a fair chance.
Okay.
But
of course.
I'm going to only
potential trigger
facts.
warning alert if you're not into...
I promise only facts is what I promise. Okay. So it's called Friend, right? I'm just going to tell you what it is. And you can watch a video. It's like a 90-second video or something like that. But essentially what it is, it's a standalone AI device. It is a wearable. It's a necklace this time. It's like a little white glowing orb the size of like two air tags.
It feels like a big air tag.
Like a big air tag. Yeah. And you walk around, and according to this video, because this is kind of all we have to go by, it's an AI friend that is always listening to you and that will send you text messages, it appears, or some sort of messages at various times based on what it has heard. Kind of like how a friend would.
That lives in your
Have
pocket.
you ever seen the red flag guy on TikTok? It's just this guy who runs by with a giant red flag whenever everything you described there is like standalone AI assistant, and I'm just imagining the guy with the red flag running by. And
so it's a minute and 44-second video, and so there's a girl going for a hike, and then she's just kind of talking to herself, and then she gets a message on her phone from the AI friend that says, "Well, at least we're outside." So it's just kind of it's like you have a friend with you.
She's talking to the pendant.
She's kind of just talking out loud. This one she's talking to the pendant, so she touches the pendant and then grabs her phone and then reads the message. Okay. The next example is a guy in a basement playing video games with his friends, and to himself under his breath, as he's getting slaughtered in the game, he's like, "Oh man, I'm getting crushed here." And then he gets a message on his phone that says, "Jackson, you're getting thrashed."
Thanks.
So
that does sound like my friends.
Yeah, it's so embarrassing.
That's so funny because like there's so many times I've been playing Valorant and I'm on the verge of like wanting to throw my mouse and like getting a text being like,
"You suck."
Noob. Like you are getting destroyed right now.
Wrecked by people
and getting shit talked in chat.
Yeah, why do I need an AI to shit talk me too?
So your friend can talk. Then there's another one of this girl who's kind of like having a lunch on break or something, watching a show on her phone, and as she's watching the show, she gets a message saying, "This show is completely underrated." So it just knew it probably heard the show she was watching or knew about it.
The biggest red flag there is she was watching it without headphones in a public space.
This is true. She was watching without headphones.
That one also, the next thing it says is, "How's the falafel?" Because it knows she ordered falafel because it was listening before.
Right.
And then she says, "It's dank."
Yeah.
So
it asked her a question. It said, "How's the falafel?" This is okay. If you've ever used Carrot Weather, there's like a little persona inside, a little AI that just gives you some commentary with the weather, and you can turn it up or down in like snarkiness and sassiness. So there's like 6 levels, and at the very lowest level, it's always PG. It's like, "Beautiful day we're having. Oh, looks like it'll rain later." You can turn it up. I have mine at the second highest level, so I'm just gonna look at whatever it says for today.
Oh, I maxed mine out. When
you can go all the way to suicidal, but
jeez.
The second highest level is it says, "If we take this to its natural conclusion, in the last Marvel movie, Robert Downey Jr. will play every single character."
It's true.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Robert Downey Jr. was just announced as Dr. Doom.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with the weather?
It just commentates on things remotely related to the current events in the weather. Sometimes not even with the weather at all.
Because that's I was like the weather.
This I refreshed, and there's a heat advisory here. It's 98 real feel right now. It says, "Heat haze can make you see things that aren't really there, like a family who loves you." So
wow.
So there's a level of dialing it up or dialing it down.
Crazy.
I suspect that they will have something similar with this product, because if my random AI assistant texted me to ask me questions about the food I was eating, I would just be annoyed by that. I would just say, "Hey, don't ask me questions, please."
Yeah.
Anyway, it's called Friend. It's a $99 pre-order. We've heard about it being a sort of a stealth startup that raised $2 million and then spent 1.8 million of it on the friend.com
domain
URL.
name.
Like a boss.
Which is a move, it's a thing you can do these days. I don't know. I've like I said, I'm only giving you facts. These are the things that were in the video. These are the things that it can do. It's $99. It is a standalone AI device. Now this is shifting to opinion time.
Okay.
I think this is not that cool or great. I understand that there's a small fraction of people who goes, oh, what a very unique, interesting thing that has not been done before. True, you can say that. It's unique and hasn't been done before. But does that make it good that you're encouraging people to have a friend that is an AI device? I told you I watched Her, right?
On the plane.
Finally.
Have you guys seen that movie?
Has anyone seen that movie?
Really relevant. It's
Please watch to the end. But
very
yes,
relevant.
Very relevant
Yeah.
from 11 years ago.
There used to be
Yeah.
chatbots on Instant Messenger that felt like this. That if you just wanted to talk to someone and you got bored of them really fast.
So yeah, I have a lot of thoughts about this. I read about this a lot last night, just because I was feelings about
When
it.
you say you read about this a lot, did you read like
Yeah,
Twitter
what else?
so
or the
there's
website?
multiple articles about it. There's
Mm.
multiple interviews with Abby, the guy that is making it, and just like what he says that he sees as the future for this product.
Sure.
He says that he sees it sort of as a tamagotchi, which
I know what
if
that is.
you remember Tamagotchis,
Mhm.
some of the younger audience might not remember, but they were basically these little Japanese keychain things that had pets on them. And you had to feed them every now and then, and you basically had to keep checking in on them and taking care of them. And you did form some form of digital relationship with your Tamagotchi. They're still very popular in Japan, actually, and they've come out with like newer models since then.
Mhm.
But that's sort of like the old school analog version of this. Now, that said, the reason he said it's kind of like a Tamagotchi is because if you lose the pendant, your friend is dead. Like you never see it again. Like you don't. It's not like
It's not an app.
It's not an
What if
app.
it breaks?
If it breaks, you're screwed. It's not. You don't get the same friend.
That
like,
seems not great.
which is interesting. They said they did that on purpose, which I kind of find interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts about this. Another thing that they said was basically like you are a combination of the 5 friends that you spend the most time with.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
And he said, now in the future, one of those friends might be an AI. I just think. Here's the thing. People are real, right? So real people have real feelings and real emotions, and you have to learn how to interact with human beings that are all very complex and diverse. The way that AI language models work is that they are a net average summation of all these
people.
things. They're hyper positive, right?
You want them to be.
And maybe to give them the benefit of the doubt, in some environments, if you're a person that needs to sort of like work up to more social interaction with people in the real world, like having a soft, easy way to interact with a human-like thing in order to get there could be
Practice.
good. I could see far-reaching environments in which, certain people with mental health conditions could utilize this. However, when we interact with people in the real world, everyone is complex and is not just going to be a hyper positive, I'm your BFF, I don't have any problems, and the only thing I care about is you mentalities. And it feels a little bit dangerous to me to get people attached and addicted to virtual human beings that are not human beings and don't have the same complexities as human beings. We have seen this with, there's Replica AI, which is an app that you basically log into and you have this virtual AI BFF that people started digitally dating.
Oh, that's a thing.
You can go on the subreddit for this,
Dating.
and it's really uncomfortable. But these people get very attached to these like digital personas. And if something happens to them, they get very upset. And I don't know. I just think,
There's a movie about this.
I know there is a movie about this.
Yeah.
I completely agree. I feel like I totally understand. I guess part of my thing is with this release video, and maybe it's just the release video, I think there's some space for like there are people out there who are lonely. Everyone at some point has been in a position where they're like, I wish I could talk to somebody right now. Whether that's just like a conversation that makes you feel not so by yourself, that is a 100% normal thing for everyone to go through.
Mm-hmm.
They don't market it like that at all. They market it so far as just this like multiple, like one guy's with other people and somebody's just telling him he's trash at like Call of Duty or whatever. And I don't know if it was just a text. I also think that's weird where it's like I speak out loud and then get a text message. Why is it not just a phone thing? Why is it not a huge red flag that it's listening all of the time from this company that we've never heard of? And even if it's a company I have heard of, I don't want them listening all the time. There's just a lot of red flags in this that I don't really get the point of it overall.
Yeah. I think I have 3 main takeaways. And look, we don't know if this product is actually going to come out or not. We just see this video and we're reacting to it. That's how far we've gotten so far. My number 1 is kind of along the lines of what you were saying, which is I guess I don't really see this being like, okay, it's got to listen to you all the time to do what it says it's doing, right? So they're going to probably say, okay, it's always encrypted and it's stored locally and we have no access to it and all this stuff to make it acceptable that it's listening all the time. And it still needs to go through their servers and like send you a message on your phone. Why don't I just have an app on my phone that I like talk to once in a while when I need that service? Does it have to listen to me all the time? That's my first thought.
Can I throw a question out there just on that and maybe you read this? It says listening all the time, and I think it's storing locally. What?
It uses Bluetooth to connect to your phone.
To connect to your phone, I'm assuming
I wonder if it
sends the message. I don't know. What I'm wondering is how long in context are we talking about? Are we overwriting stuff of like context of what it's listening to?
Great point.
Because in that it's like she's eating the falafel and it mentions the falafel. Are we talking about the last hour? Are we saying like, oh man, what was that thing I did yesterday morning and it's going to know what I'm doing? Or is it only knowing within the last hour or so?
Right.
Yeah.
Which takes the difference between I hate that it's storing a day's worth of audio that I have to also what good is this if it only knows the last 30 minutes?
Yeah.
It's like, it feels damned both ways on that.
Right. If it's just reactive based on your most recent like interactions.
Super in the moment.
Right. I mean, Avi is pretty back and forth on Twitter and stuff about this. We could always ask.
Sure.
But
yeah.
Well, my second take is the wearing of a device like this that's so, I guess, unnatural looking kind of makes it a target. You're the guy with the AI friend. I can see it on you're wearing it. That's the first thing
target
I thought.
for bullying and
yeah, or just being stolen or whatever. And then the third thing that I thought is this feels very Twitter, and I know it feels very bubble, like very much like people who are speaking about this or care deeply about this are all in one place. And I just looked it up real quick. This launched everywhere. Like there's friend.com, there's Instagram, there's Twitter, there's whatever. So they put the YouTube video out. This same exact YouTube video got 131,000 views, 800 likes, 700 comments. They launched it on Instagram, brand new, has 693 likes, and has 800 followers on their account. And they launched it on Twitter, and on Twitter it has 18.2 million views, 9,200 retweets, and 3,600 comments.
Dang.
So there's a type
You're right.
for this.
Right.
And I just wonder like how local is this type? Is this very, very AI positive type of person who's willing to give it a shot versus the general public? Because I first watched this and it felt kind of like a sketch, like a parody, and I think a lot of people watching it may feel the same way. But in a certain group of people, this is much more hard hitting.
I was just going to say, I think part of those numbers are inflated by Twitter also being the easiest place to dunk on things.
Facts.
So
Yes.
I think there's definitely
Yeah.
some of that of people on Twitter enjoy retweeting and
Great
commenting
point.
to dunk and make fun of things.
I have a question. Well, it's not really a question. It's kind of a question. Anyway, my kind of a question is that if you're selling something for $99 and it costs money per query, to me, that says we don't expect people to use this long term because there's no subscription. And if they did use it long term, it would cost us money.
It says something totally different to me. That says we are definitely selling the data we're collecting from this.
Wow.
Because that's the only way it will make money.
To me, it tells me that they're trying to get bought.
Like immediately.
It doesn't need to be long term.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Three
Three different takes.
Interesting. Yeah.
Because I agree with you.
Yeah.
Like the way queries work, $99 would run up if that's all the money.
If you
that was
actually
going to
use this for like a couple of years, I'm pretty sure your query costs would be above,
and that's not including hardware and any of that.
which probably costs $3, but
yeah,
it's a
probably not much.
it's a microphone with a.
I do also agree.
Radio.
Necklace is kind of necklace option. Could it not be a keychain or a belt buckle?
It's probably
I'm
just
kidding.
where is the
It's
most of the
the
sound?
easiest.
Belt buckle's wild. You're just
Keychain,
like,
I guess you couldn't put
I gotta
on.
talk to
Necklace, you can always do it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be able to tap it at any time.
You definitely need a certain fashion style to be able to wear a necklace every day with a little AI assistant on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
It's the battery life.
yeah.
That's a great question.
How do you
too.
charge it?
I think it has a USB-C port on it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think it will be interesting to see how this plays out, but a lot of just, I know that I sound negative a lot around a lot of the AI stuff. It's just that it feels like there's this gold rush and everyone knows that they can make a lot of money, but no one is thinking about like, does anyone actually want this, or does this actually make anyone's life better or a society better? Because parasocial relationships already exist on YouTube and all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And having a parasocial relationship with a robot, which is literally a prediction machine, it feels very, very dystopian and bleak.
I sent this to my sister, who is way younger and cooler than me and more of a normal person. And she replied and said that she felt like she was watching a horror movie and was waiting to get jump scared with that video.
Yeah.
There's a really funny parody video of it already, by the way, called Enemy instead of Friend. And
great
each thing that texts back is just like Voldemort saying, like, after the guy gets beat in the video games, it's Voldemort saying, like, wait till they fall asleep and light their house on fire.
I also think that there's a little bit of a hyper positivity on Twitter specifically around like AI and tech.
What?
Stuff.
No way.
Because look, it's cool if you're like gonna create a product and like make something and that you're putting a lot into it and actually like trying to make something. That's very cool. Not a lot of people do that. But the Silicon Valley way is just like make it even if nobody wants it.
Just has to be unique.
Just make money. And it sort of feels like a let's just make money kind of thing. So I don't know.
Well said.
That's my take, but I'm willing to give it a shot once they actually come out.
I'm not.
Yeah, I don't want it.
I'll probably
In the perfect
Sorry.
world,
I mean, this doesn't look like for me. Maybe it's for someone else. I can't
yeah.
see myself ever
For the amount of
using
time that I feel comfortable using it,
Yeah.
which I don't even know if I do because like no one else is consenting to their voice being stored.
that's another great
Is that even
point.
legal in a lot of states? Can you just be
there's-
recording all the time and not tell people?
There's a difference between
Yeah.
phone calls and recordings. I don't know the rules, but that is another good question. Is if you're just recording everything all the time, then
Yeah.
what do you
Also,
do?
he said that he eventually wants to add a camera to it, in which case I'm like, no,
Nah.
don't do that. Do not do that.
Definitely.
This is already far enough. This is already too far, in my opinion.
Yeah.
People would see a camera and just, that would be it.
Assuming
That'd
this
be it.
works perfectly as advertised, I still don't think it's useful. Like, why do I want someone else
think
to
there's
text me random things throughout the day?
It does. The commercial is always random things. I was trying to think of useful things it could do. Like if you were like, oh, where did I put my keys down? And then because it could hear the last time your keys jingled, it
Or
could
had a
tell you
camera.
what room you were in or had a camera. But like maybe it could help you answer questions, or maybe you tell it to remember stuff. Like when I was testing the Meta Ray-Bans, you could have it remember stuff for you. Things like that could be a utility if it's always listening, maybe.
It's not. That doesn't sound like what they're going for, though.
It's not in the commercial.
No.
I think it's just super dystopian that guy was playing video games with his friends.
With
and
real
instead of
friends.
interacting with his friends he was in the same room with, he decided to text. Not even his like new love interest, but a robot.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's already rude to like get
And
on your
is-
phone when you're with your friends and text someone else, but to text a robot when you're with your friends, bro,
It's a choice.
what is this? Anyway,
I don't really get
it was very
this,
well
yeah.
shot though, so Whoever
It
shot
was
it.
pretty well done.
was
The
pretty
video
well
is pretty well done.
Yeah, even if it was dystopian.
Maybe the product is well done. Who knows?
We'll see.
We'll see.
I
It
got
was
kicked
gross.
out of calculus because I faked taking trigonometry and
But you didn't know.
well, what I did was I took trigonometry through Stanford during the summer online, but I didn't finish it. And but I enrolled in calculus and I tried really hard and I failed everything. And at one point, my teacher was like, "David, you didn't take trig, did you?"
Oh,
I was like,
damn. That's like when your dentist is like, you don't floss.
Then you look that dentist in the eyes, you're like, you fucking know the answer to that.
Well, I think the dentist is usually like, do you floss? And you're like, yeah. And they're like, yeah, oh, yeah, for sure. And they're like, no, you don't floss.
Have you ever heard they say, do you ever floss? And you say, yeah, religiously. And they're like, it doesn't look like it. And you're like, Christmas and Easter.
Sundays?
Like and subscribe and floss your teeth.
Yeah.